Right, I'm sitting here with Ashok, who's back from India on a visit back to New Zealand for the Christmas holidays, as we would call it. And he's sitting here taking some photographs of some people walking down the street. Surprise, surprise. Ashok's got a camera and he's taking photographs of some people on the street. He was taking a photograph of me earlier. But
that's a nice picture.
so how's it been in the time you know since we last saw you, since you were last here? How's it
Well, it's
been?
been always exciting times, isn't it?
What have you been up to?
Again, the same, traveling, sharing selflessly, and doing some very exciting projects or books. I
Okay.
completed 4 books, which is
Didn't you say what you're doing some photographs down the River Ganges?
yeah, that is on actually. That is the 5th book, or the 5th, yeah, I will say 5th book of the year, which will get completed by March 20.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a long terrain, and I have to go and travel further 7,000 kilometers when I reach. So
7,000.
yeah, there's 35 days, 40 days.
That's what's left or the total?
There's left only.
That's left.
Yeah, I have covered the 50%. I have covered around 3,500 kilometers. Countless days,
Yeah.
countless hours, I'll say. But it's
Wow.
exciting because the subject is such.
Yeah. It's an interesting journey because with that much distance over that much landscape, you would get quite a variation in terrain and people, and you know, even though it's in one country,
Yeah.
the cultures through that trip would be quite varied.
It will be around the 7 states I'll be covering, and when we talk about states, it's not like states we have here, that all look-alike.
Yeah.
So, for example, it starts from Uttarakhand or the Himalayas, that has got no reference with the plains. The language, the
okay.
food, language, the people, their likings, dislikings, no reference actually in a way to plains. And further when I go, you can say down the track, there'll be again very different states. So every state is a different country in a way. You say very rightly that the 7 states means 7 countries I'll be covering. So
Okay.
And naturally it's going to be, it's a huge project because just because it's naturally the terrain, the people, the landscape, the wildlife, the birds, right, the villages around, the food and the markets, and so on and so forth. This endless list.
Yeah, it's quite a lot different than if you travelled the length of New Zealand. There isn't a huge difference. Yes, there are little idiosyncrasies, but the variation between the top of the North Island and the bottom of the South Island is nowhere
There's no
near.
difference. See, maximum you see, maximum is 2 kind of people, right? The Western faces and the Northerns to identify, and the rest is the same. But over there, it is there is no reference to one state to another. There'll be, I think, 3 books, set of 3 comfortable books, because you can't put everything in one book.
Yeah, one book about a
books.
foot thick.
Yeah. That becomes an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
This is see the important point here is that this kind of work is being done for the first time ever in the history of Ganges. Many people have done it, but not to this length.
Oh, okay.
There's no compilation of the maximum you find 1 book, 2 books. There are hundreds of books on Ganges, but this kind of study, and that too in black and white.
Yeah.
So which is
Oh,
a-
surprise, surprise! Doing it in black and white.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the challenge.
Yeah, that must make it interesting, because I was talking to someone a while back about black and white, and how spending time with you and looking at black and white gave me a better understanding of colour photography.
Maybe, yeah, that's right.
And if someone had told me that before meeting you, I would have laughed at them. But it's interesting how we now think in terms of colour, and we forget the relevance of black and white for teaching us the difference between light and dark, and how that plays an important part in the photos we create.
That's right.
And so I got into quite a lengthy discussion about black and white and colour. Not that one's better than the other, it's just that black and white can teach you a lot, and it teaches you to observe, I found. If you think I'm taking a black and white photograph, even if you know it's going to be colour, it does teach you to think about your picture a lot better, I think.
Yeah, you see, I'll portray it this way because there's no distraction of colors in black and white. And then you're focusing or concentrating more onto the forms and the expressions of the scene.
Yeah.
So that gives you, I'll say, a different challenge altogether. Just for a reference, if I say the sunset image in color is obviously beautiful.
Yeah.
But there's no challenge to it.
No.
Now depicting the same in black and white.
Yeah.
The tonality between orange and yellow and red.
And you leave it up to the viewer to fill in the colour.
Yeah, right. You were saying.
It's sort of like the photography version of colour by numbers. Yeah. Here's the image.
Yeah,
you add the colour as you want to see it on that particular day.
And it becomes either form is you can say there is no comparison, as you rightly said. No comparison, no competition. Color in black and white.
I've done a few photographs where I've found they had to be black and white because colour was distracting you from the total image. Like my classic one was Port Waikato, where I wanted people to see the whole image, the coastline going up and disappearing into the distance. But on the beach was a whole lot of people, and there was bright orange rescue craft and things like this. In colour, you'd be distracted by those oranges. In black and white, you're not distracted by that. You just see a mass of people and you just brush over those and look at the whole scene. You're going to be doing a bit of travelling around New Zealand while you're here, or are you going to be pretty much?
It's totally dedicated to Grand Tex.
And you're going to be at Snapshot on the 13th.
Yeah, that is going to be very exciting.
So it's about 6 in the evening, isn't it? 6
in the evening, and the excitement of that is that if you see my yesterday's post, I've changed my view from soulful photography to soulful mode of sharing, soulful thought. Where now I'll be sharing the softer side of image with you. Not the technical part, because the world is shouting about all you see any channel and everything is shouting loudly that my shirt is whiter than yours. Everybody is talking about it. I'm the Sony user, I'm Fuji user, I'm Nikon and the Canon of the world. Nobody is talking about how to take a picture, how to create an image, the softer side of it, or I'll say the soul side of it.
Yeah.
So now I'll be. Yesterday I have started writing that because many friends actually wanted to know that my process of taking images. When they find my images little different than what is being posted. So I thought, why not I share the viewpoint how I look at image, how I get involved in the image, how honest I am with the subject.
Okay.
So that is the process which I've started now, sharing online. Which is missing link actually. The fact is that, as I always say that the time has come actually to use this social media in a way where you pick up something good of East, something good of West, and marry them. Right? If I still use the same for these communication places to kill each other, I think we are misusing the times. Yeah. Now the time is so wonderful that we can pick up something which is the emotions of East. Yeah. And the technical and you can say the harder or the technical part of the West. And West should learn now from East that how to connect, how to cry with the subject. Yeah. Which is impossible for any New York photographer to cry. Yeah. Which I have tried many times.
I've found when over this early part of summer, I've been travelling around with a friend of mine every now and again. We go off for day trips and stuff, and watching tourists and local Kiwis who are out at some of the spots we go to taking photographs, they don't seem to be connected with what they're photographing. They turn up, they take a photograph, they move on. Every now and again we'd come across a photographer who's taking the time to sit there and take a photograph and think about it and this sort of thing. But on the whole, they take a photograph of a scene and then move on.
So that's why we see so many, I think, maybe, I don't know the data exactly, but maybe trillions of pictures every day, right, being posted.
Yeah.
And hardly you remember one. Hardly. That's
Yeah.
the only reason, because they're technically correct image, but there's no emotions in the image.
Yeah.
There's no connect where I can feel that, oh, this is me.
Yeah.
The photographer say that, yes. I'll give you one instance. Of late I was in Ladakh, so doing a book which was 18,000 plus feet. And of course it's a very amazing terrain. So in one of the monastery, I was taking images of kids, of rather teachers playing a flute kind of an instrument.
Oh, okay.
And he was not getting tuned to it. So he was not getting what he wanted to get into. And watching him, it's a room, inside room, and he almost gave up. But I wanted to photograph him while playing. So I requested him, I said, may I request you one last time? I know this time it will be done.
Yeah.
So I was so much deeply connected that he should play that. From my soul I wanted. And as soon as he just put it on his mouth and it started playing. For 10-12 minutes he was playing, and the second one also started, and I started taking images.
Cool.
So it happened for around, I don't know the time, but maybe around 10 minutes. And I took some amazing images. So those were the title images. And to my surprise, the kids also, then they went over, the students, they took over, little kids.
Yeah.
So they took over, they started playing, and then some pictures, and I came out of the room. My son was here. We were traveling together, he's a biker.
Oh, yeah.
So we were together, so he says, why are you crying? I realized, yes, I was crying. And I never knew it. So this is the emotion, because I was so much deeply into it, that as if I'm playing that, as if I was absolutely integral part of that complete scenario or the scene or the activities.
Yeah.
So this is the connector. Now those images, they have to speak.
Yeah.
Because I have not done it.
Yeah.
They are being shot by somebody.
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating, and I'm not trying to be superhuman, but very simply it is that one has to give a space to existence to perform.
Yeah.
When I say that I am superior than existence, I know technically everything. No man, you know nothing. We know nothing. Because like yesterday I said that let's not talk about cameras anymore.
Yeah.
Because they are smarter than you. One click you get whatever you wish to. So let the camera does its job, its role, and what is your role left for?
Yeah.
Who you are, like you're doing it now. The camera is doing everything.
Yeah.
It's exposing well, everything is intelligent, it's following me, my eyes and everything.
Yeah.
Now what is the contribution of the person behind? That connect is lost. Because it is equipment to human.
Yeah.
It has to be artificial. The human element from human to human, in between the interface is technical. So we have to use this as an interface only. But not as a key element of picture taking. You visit any YouTube channel and you will find all the references of Ansel Adams and Henry Carter Brassio of the streets of the world and all those kind of things you talk about. And what cameras they were using? Today's standard, very primitive.
Yeah.
Maybe the best of those days. But we talk about today's standards, very primitive cameras.
Yeah.
And we are referring to their pictures.
And give it another 20 years, and the camera you're holding in your hand will be considered primitive.
It is, of course,
Yeah.
of course. So, but only one thing will remain. May not, that is also now question mark.
Yeah.
Because of this artificial intelligence. Right? Because nobody knows after 50 years how the human will look. That's another story.
Yeah.
Right? Because the way, the pace we are, like I'll give you an example. My son has developed an app. It's a startup in a big way, which I have brought in here. Which is a travel log basically. It's a small unit. You just put it in your car or on your bike. You go and travel in the world wherever you want to. It writes the complete travel log of its own.
Oh, okay.
Grabbing all the pictures of that area, where you stopped, why you stopped.
Okay.
Was it a fuel station or was it a coffee? Which cafe you entered, which cafe you had, how much time you have taken on that break.
Oh, that's cool.
Everything is written automatically. All pictures grabbed automatically. All altitude and latitude is calculated automatically.
Cool.
One button, you share that. You need not to look into it even. So this is the artificial intelligence which is entering now in common, you can say, everyday life.
Yeah.
So coming back to photography, so the only connect will be the person who is using this artificial intelligence.
Yeah, because
That is the most
artificial, in my view, artificial intelligence will never have the emotion. It will have
We
the
don't know.
ability to do things, but it won't have
See,
the
we
emotion.
do not know because the latest studies which I follow, many scholars or the scientists, latest study is that you don't know the human of 2080.
Yeah.
You don't know the face or how they will look. You know, nobody has got idea. Even any of the biggest scientists have got no idea.
So the one thing that's
Pace we are moving in.
The one thing that is interesting is that along with this progression of technology, we are becoming disconnected from the emotional side of things in certain areas. We are getting attuned to, I suppose, suppressing certain emotional reactions to some things because it's expected in our modern society. Things that I look back at how people around me would have dealt with situations when I was a kid. And I look at how that same situation now and people's acceptance of things that we would have been quite, upset or concerned about when I was a kid, and are now accepted as okay and normal.
No, Lance, we have to understand one thing very clearly. That generally we call it, I don't know in English if we call it nostalgia or what. But the fact is that it has been, the world has been like that.
Yeah.
We have come from Stone Age, today we are remotely shooting everything. Right? So, when me being 65, I never say that my times were better. Because, see, the present is the best.
Yeah.
Future is going to be far better than what we were. This is the progression the human is always been in. So these references, I think, will not be of any meaning times to come, because the time is going to be very different now.
Yeah.
They are very different, and we have to accept it, acknowledge it, appreciate it. That's the thing.
Cool. Well, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was just crossing by, I just met Peter. So, yeah.